Hey guys, so before we get into this video, I was wondering if we could get 20 likes. That would be awesome. And if you're new to the channel, please be sure to subscribe. We have a lot of awesome plans going forward in the next few months, and I'd love you guys to see it. So, I'm going to talk about the Spider-Man Far From Home trailer today and my thoughts concerning it. So, I think that this movie looks really good from what we've seen so far. I thought that the trailer was perfect, and I do have a few concerns that could potentially bleed into the movie, but everything that I saw in this trailer sold me, and I'm really excited to see what this film can do. So, the first thing that I want to say is that I wasn't actually a huge fan of Spider-Man Homecoming or the concept of Far From Home. I thought that this one didn't sound that great from a conceptual idea, and Homecoming wasn't a bad movie, but it just didn't really stand out for me personally. I'll discuss that more in a future video. But this trailer, it's kind of like seeing is believing with the concept for Far From Home. I didn't think it sounded that great, but seeing it in action really looks good. And I think that the elemental characters look really cool. I think that Mysterio by Jake Gyllenhaal looks great. And I also think that Peter and his interactions with his classmates and, Aunt May and Happy look a lot better than they did in Homecoming. That was an aspect that I sort of struggled with. Again, I'll explain that in a future video. But I thought that they looked really good in this movie, so I'm sort of going to go through the trailer and explain both things that really stood out to me and things that concern me, and I'll sort of state my biggest concern at the end. So I'm going to start by saying I really like Aunt May and Peter's interactions at this point. She knows that he's Spider-Man, and she's sort of acting as his press manager almost, which I think is funny and really creative. I liked her interaction with Happy Hogan. I thought that was funny. Again, if that was something that I'd seen on paper, I would be totally against it, but seeing it on the screen was pretty funny, and I can be okay with that. That's something that I think they can work in the movie as a good comedic joke. And I really hope that they sort of expand Peter's empathy. I hope that, maybe we see a flashback with Uncle Ben, or if not a flashback, some sort of, Mysterio's the main villain, for crying out loud. He could make Peter hallucinate Uncle Ben. Like, they could do some really incredible things with this, and I just hope that they don't miss any opportunities this time around. Now, as far as the elemental characters, this is a concern that I do have, because while they look really cool, I'm concerned that they're just going to be hallucinations caused by Mysterio, and if that's the case, then this whole movie is going to be a complete red herring. And if that's the case, they need to make these fight sequences incredible. They have to look great. They have to be entertaining, because if they're not going to remain entertaining from a narrative standpoint, they need to at least be really visually impressive, in my opinion. And, if they are hallucinations, again, that's fine. I'd prefer they're real, but that could cause an issue too, where there's too many characters thrown in. But I don't know. I'm kind of torn on that, because, like, Sandman, for example, I don't want to just be a hallucination, but I don't know that he and Mysterio and Hydro Man and Molten Man can all share a movie. That would just be way too crowded. We'd run into a lot of the same issues of, like, The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Like I said, I liked his interactions with his classmates. I think that Michelle, played by Zendaya, is starting to grow on me as a character in these films. I really didn't like her in Homecoming at all, but I thought that she and Peter had some good dialogue, so I'll see where that goes. I thought that Flash Thompson's bit at the end was funny. I enjoyed that. My one concern, well, not really concern, but problem is I'm, kind of a purist when it comes to Spider-Man, so the fact that they're in Europe and not New York, it bugs me a little bit, but not on a level where it makes me hate the movie or even hate that they're in Europe. That's not a problem. It's just, it's sort of a personal preference, but it's fine. I'm just mentioning that because it's a personal preference, and I'm not expecting anybody to agree with that. So my overall concern here is, A, that this film will be too crowded if they try to, give these characters significant screen time. That would be, door number A. Sorry, letter A. My potential second issue, so B, would be that this whole film is a red herring, and that upon rewatch, there's really no point to anything that happens in the movie. And I think that could also be a downfall of this film as well. So those are my two concerns. I'm really excited to see what they do with Nick Fury and Peter Parker. Their interaction seemed funny as well. So, again, I'm really excited for this movie. It looked really visually impressive, but there are some lingering concerns over, A, it being too crowded, or B, the whole movie not really mattering and just having sort of an ending that is impactful, but having like 2 hours before it that are just filler. But let me know in the comments below, what did you guys think of this trailer? What are your concerns from it? What things really stood out to you? And thanks again so much for watching. Again, please be sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and we'll see you guys in the next one.